I got a master's degree. In fact, we didn't talk about this much. I got a doctoral degree in basically theology. And I got a lot of schooling, Bible. I mean,
Welcome back to Project Nihilist, my fellow comrades. In this video, we're going to cover Dr. Don Robertson. His video is titled, Don't Dabble with the Devil. And then he goes on for about an hour about how important it is for Christians to believe in his imaginary friends or else. For the sake of everyone's sanity, we're only going to cover the first 13 minutes. Because that's about all that I could stand, because Dr. Don...
You are smart.
So let's get into it.
I mean, we'll be studying a wonderful lesson, and it's entitled, Don't Dabble with the
Devil in the Pale Moonlight.
It's a topic that a lot of people don't like to talk about or won't even talk about, even in the churches. And it's kind of sad that that's the case, because it's an essential topic to the Christian life. This passage tells us why this topic's so important. A lot of people will talk about the putting on the armor of God, and they'll do lessons on that, but they won't deal with the front matter that actually precedes those verses in Ephesians 6 that talk about why.
I'm going to take that as a challenge, and if memory serves, this is from Paul's prison letter that is most likely fan fiction, a forgery. This is one of those biblically pages that's all screwed up and cross-eyed. Obey your parents so it might go well and you get to live a long life. Because bad children are put to death. Fathers, don't exacerbate your children. Bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. Because indoctrination is important in monopolizing religion. Slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and sincerity, like you would Jesus. Obey them not only to win their favor, but as slaves of Christ, doing the will of thine God from your heart. Serve wholeheartedly, and you will be rewarded when you die. Pinky swear and cross my heart. Now get back to picking that dang cotton, boy. I'm looking forward to Dr. Don explaining why it was so important we went and read that.
It says, this is the Apostle Paul speaking to the church at Ephesus. And the people there had experienced a lot of things in regards to spiritual enemies of God and demonic forces and so forth. And many of them had become Christians. And so they would be very aware of the realities that we're going to be talking about tonight. And this is one of the things that Paul told them. He says, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers, over this present
Darkness, everybody! Everyone!
Against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. When we're living as Christians, when we're dealing with how to live like a Christian, dealing with physical issues per se, and in other words, we're dealing with spiritual forces and authorities in these heavenly places. And in other words, it's a spiritual realm that's really the ultimate realm.
Leathering leather skate!
We don't recognize the reality of these spiritual forces in the spiritual realm that is at play in our day-to-day life. We're not living in reality.
Now, I am not one of those people that sees a demon behind every single bush.
Oh, shit!
And a lot of people living in the West, and the way we are, we're very materialistic. Have you noticed that before?
Well, hell, I guess I ain't never looked at it like that before.
We're very prone to, you gotta see and touch it per se. We're supposed to be, that's their view of science per se.
Per se, science is the knowledge learned from the natural world. Per se, I am so sorry that your God has never been observed there.
And when people think like that, they think that there's no such thing as the devil, there's no such thing as demons, and that sort of realm of the spiritual realm.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is.
They reduce everything to the physical, and that's quite foolish, because at the end of the day, people are actually sticking their head in the sand about the reality of the devil, and he is real.
It wasn't long ago that a devil was rescued at the border, and the video went viral. I'm not sure why they didn't share the footage of the mythical chanting and the smudging of ash and ritualistic incense burning and various lubricants.
Hey, calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
I'm accused of sticking my head in the mud. You show this video to Christians and give them the pretense that this is a sex trafficker, They will tell you that it is the demonish devil for sure, and there's no other explanation.
And I think it was C.S. Lewis years ago has made a comment about one of the things that the devil has been so successful at is getting people to think he doesn't exist.
Gang, I have read the collective works of A Chronicle of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, a biblical allegory Christian fan fiction story that's kind of cool, but definitely a fallacious appeal to authority. I mean, who the hell is C.S. Lewis?
I shall call him.
And many people act like that in our culture today. In fact, many people think that way in churches. Many pastors are like that.
Mini-me.
They reduce everything to the material.
Well, duh. I mean, everything we see, touch, taste, feel, smell, and hear is made up of matter. You know, that thing that gives the universe mass.
And they don't think about the spiritual dynamics.
Well, that's just obviously not true. And what we're looking forward to, Doc, is you explaining it to us. That's what we love watching.
If you're not mindful of that, you're not on the page of Scripture. You're not on the same page with Paul as he's looking at life.
I think we already hit on this point. Paul, down here in reality, is an asshole, and it's most likely he didn't even write it. It was some fan fiction, fraudulent forgery shit from like 25 years later.
I mean, and he was a godly man. a very rational, very smart person.
We are smart. We need their computer things.
But he understood that these spiritual dynamics are at play, and they're the essential. This is the essential part of our reality that we need to understand so that we can live out the Christian life. We're really going to handicap ourselves in living a Christian life. We're going to handicap a lot of things. We're going to handicap our prayer life. We're not going to pray properly. We're not going to follow the pursuits of whatever God says in His Word to do properly within the context of this. And Paul, that's the way he operated. So I wanted to start us off with this. You know, this gives a reason, a biblical grounding as to why we should even be talking about this topic.
Oh, y'all don't know shit. I'm gonna learn you, though. I'm gonna learn you.
And sadly, be honest, I don't think we talked about this hardly at all in seminary. I got a master's degree. In fact, we didn't talk about this much. I got a doctoral degree in basically theology.
Wow, I've never seen someone appeal to their own authority while describing their doctorate as a basically something or other.
A Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. It is not October the 19th. I forgot to change that. What is it? The 20-something? 6th. Oh, famous day in history. We did a video this morning about that. Imagine, there's 26 on there.
Wow, you're right. That's fascinating. You got the fucking date wrong, and somehow it's a miracle.
I got a lot of schooling, Bible. I mean,
my passport says do not detain me.
We did talk about this with one of my professors, but not a lot, even in college. I mean, I've got years and years of study, and it's sad to say that we hardly ever talked about any of this. And it's needed. It's crazy that would be the case because of what Paul's saying here.
Flesh of my flesh, your mind, not my mind. Two of a kind, but one won't survive.
That this is the real deal. This is the Christian life.
What is the Matrix? Control.
If we don't understand that this is what we're dealing with, the devil here, cosmic powers over this.
Darkness, everybody, everyone.
Who is that? That's the devil. And this present darkness is this dark world in which the devil is, he's the Lord of this world.
So no shit, Old Scratch is the Lord of the world. Hell, I always thought it was the other guy.
In a wicked sense, in the ways of the dark kingdom that he is a part of, and really kind of having tremendous influence over. And there are real demons.
Oh yeah, demons are totally real, and I have a video on my channel where we exorcise a lawyer.
What does? Speak, you Lucifer?
Did you show your mamas the secret recipes?
Yes.
So it's not to believe that these are real, or the devil's not real, or demons aren't real, these spiritual realities not real. You really are handicapping yourself. You're not going to be living the Christian life that God's called you to be, and you're not going to be alert to the things of God that you should be alert to. You're going to be ineffectual in a lot of ways. And I want you to be effectual for the kingdom of God. So this is why we're studying this tonight. So as we're diving into it a bit here, I want to start off with a question. When you think about the subject of the occult, what comes to mind? I'm alive! I'm alive! Is this it's like something new to you, the word, or what does that bring to your mind when you think about the occult?
Witchcraft, Satanism.
Okay. You getting that, Tyler? Okay.
Okay.
Witchcraft and Satanism, all right.
Okay.
Evil. And that people who are in this are not dealing with it.
Good grief.
Okay.
Evil, people not dealing with the truth.
Don't be such a pussy, okay?
That's good.
Take things away from God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Those are good.
It's good. It's good.
I'm just curious. I'm gonna be honest. Before I was a Christian, I was dabbling in the occult.
No shit. I knew we was kindred spirits. What was your favoriteest lucid in?
As a pastor, I deal with a lot of people in a lot of different situations. And have you ever, we've had some people in this area that have had black shadows, figures, appearing in their homes. And people in our own church have had that experience.
And that's why when your mind's all fucked up from stress or drugs or lack of sleep or mental illness, the first thing to play tricks on you is your eyes. Why do you think cops don't ask people if they've been hearing voices?
Have you ever seen anything like that? Or you have? Okay. I have, too, personally. I've in the past. And people, that's, or people, they'll say they saw a ghost of Aunt Louise or whoever it is. Anybody ever heard? Maybe you've got family members. Anybody got family members that have experienced any of this? Anybody? Some of you have. Okay. And the question is, what are they? Which we'll discuss in a minute. But people have had these experiences. These are real experiences they're having. They're not. The people that I've talked to are not delusional. They were awake when they had these experiences. So, what are they? That's the question. How should we respond to this stuff? Some people, like if they say they've had that, they kind of invite this into their life, right? If they see quote unquote a ghost, they go, have you ever heard of Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Yeah, I seen that movie like a long time ago. Is this the same actor who did the voice for that Disney Atlantis movie, the Russian bomb expert?
Oh, was fine. Was no problem. Piece of cake. You didn't just drink that, did you? That's not good. That's nitroglycerin. Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't do anything except pray, maybe.
They kind of treat all the quote unquote ghosts as Casper the Friendly Ghost. Question is that true? Is Casper the friendly ghost? Or are there any friendly ghosts? Or are there ghosts? These are questions.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Technically, those are questions.
We've had people at our church that have participated in exorcisms. Yeah. And so, I've had one situation in our community. A family. This is it was people that I know from First Baptist Church over here in Friendswood. They were having their typical Bible study.
Dad, you gotta see this. Not now, Stanley.
And on a night, and one of their sons who lives in the house, it didn't look like he was working, but maybe he was early mid-20s, one of those kind of situations. But he came out and he actually started
Monterey in California.
Convulsing and basically broke out into demonic expressions.
Stanley, what the hell are you doing?
And they had to have an exorcism right there. Can you imagine how that wakes up a Baptist, that's not used to that,
Stanley, you go to your room right now!
These are older crew, too, that come in the house. Like, this is the first time. What in the world?
I'm beating off the dog.
Imagine that Bible study. That was quite the talk, right? But that happened here, and somebody told me, well, what do you think about it, Don? We've gotten that conversation.
Hey, Don. Does this mean we're going steady?
You weren't getting out of buying those beers that easy.
I mean, the parents didn't even know that their son was demonically possessed. So, we got it right in our backyard. We had one person come here years ago. His wife and they were watching a horror show, and it's like one of those things you see on television, and his wife got possessed by a demon.
Where were you? Photographing squirrels? You're fired.
They went to Calvary Chapel down the road during a service, and she manifested there and supposedly evidently went through an exorcism at the church. So, and this person ended up, after she's depossessed, they were going through problems in a marriage. So he eventually he's coming and visiting our church and talking to me about this. I mean, I think it was real. A real situation.
Fuck me running. Don, what you just said is all of the time, once years ago, some dude struggling in his marriage blamed it on monsters rather than honestly assessing the situation. You agreed with him and blamed all of his problems on the wife, while at the same time ignoring the entire sum of reality.
So you might think, oh, this doesn't happen in Pearland or this area. No, it does. It happens everywhere. So and we're at Halloween right now. We're just before Halloween. I thought this was very appropriate for us to be talking about this because a lot of people are getting into the occult at this point, find the allure of it all.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Very compelling, so they get involved with this at this time. So, but should we, as Christians, should we get ourselves involved with the occult?
Don's brain should have just exploded, having realized that he's fucked either way. A catch-22, a damned if you do and damned if you don't. Thank you so much for stopping by. God, this video is long and I've cut out so much of it, but thank you. Do all that free shit that doesn't cost you a penny.